Good evening, everyone. I am Yasraj Soda, and today I am going to discuss about the topic comparative analysis of Natyashastra and Aristotle's Poetics, exploring differences and commonalities. Okay, personal information, table of content. First of all, the Natyashastra. Natyashastra is a handbook on the classical Sanskrit theatre attributed to Bharata, a mythical Brahmin sage. Encompasses the diverse arts, dance, music, poetic, and aesthetics. It dwells into the different art forms like dance, music, and aesthetics. Authored between 1st century BC and 3rd century CE, highlights Indian drama as a means of spiritual enlightenment and justification. The information is taken from Britannica. Now, the Poetics, written by Aristotle. The Poetics is a book of drama and poetry. Influence on the criticism, poetic has the profound impact on the literary theory and criticism throughout the history. Legacy, the enduring relevance of the Poetics lies in its exploration of the nature and purpose of literature, shaping subsequent generation of writers and critics. The same information taken from Britannica. Now, the key concept in the Natyashastra, what are the main themes or things we find in the Natyashastra? First of all, the Pathya, or we can say the text, the written things that is there. Second is the Geet, the we can say the tune or the way it is going to be performed, the tune. The Abhinaya, the presentation, how the actors or characters are going to portray that through their Abhinay presentation. Rasa, the aesthetic pleasure, the main thing that is going to happen into the viewers as well as in the performance, the main rasa. Bharata's well-known aphoristic phrase that conceptualized the rasa. Vibhav, Anubhav, Vyabhichar Bhav, Samyogad, Rasa Nispati. It means that rasa is produced from the combination of determinants, consequence, and transitory states. When these type of things are performed or being played on a stage, then the pleasure can be felt by the audience. The Bharat's book that is taken from. Key concept in Aristotle's Poetics. First of all, the Aristotle definition of tragedy is given, and in the tragedy, the main part, that is imitation. That imitation means whatever the content the writer is taking, it is originally from the real world. So it is the imitation of action, as we know. The language, how it is used and how it is performed, how it is played, how it is written, the language, how it is used. Presentation, as we have seen in the Bharat's theory also, how it is going to be presented on the stage. There we find then the catharsis. The term catharsis meaning the cleansing or the purgation of the emotion and pity, the fear, while defining the tragedy. We can also compare it with the aesthetic pleasure or the ras nispati that happens inside the human psyche. That is also called the catharsis, the human experience, the emotional pleasure we find. That is from the Aristotle. Now, similarities between Natyashastra and Aristotle's Poetics. So what types of similarities we find? Both works dwell into the drama and literary theory. Both works talks about the theory of the plays or drama, how it is performed, how it is written, and that type of nature, elements, and principle of drama. Both follow the similar framework addressing the drama's constituents. Like Aristotle discussed the imitation, language, and presentation, and catharsis, while Bharatas mentions the Pathya, Geet, Abhinav, and Rasa, as we have discussed before. Both aim to enhance the pleasure and enjoyment. In literary works like the theory of catharsis and ras nispati, we can find another similarity is both recognize the emotions' importance in the representation of the literature. Like Aristotle emphasized the pity and the fear, the emotion of pity and fear, while Bharata outlines the sthai bhavas and their manifestations. Sthai bhava, that is Sai Bhava and Sanchari Bhava, the rasas that we have. emotions. Both address the relationship between the work performer and the audience. Both of the works we find there are like different theories is applied. Like Aristotle discusses the treasury impact through the catharsis, and Bharata we find the explores actor's role in conveying the rasas to spectators. These similarities is taken from one article written by Mrs. Nirmala Sharma. The article name is Catharsis and Rasa, the Intersecting Theories. Now the differences, what types of differences we find in the Natyashastra and the Bharat's Natyashastra and Aristotle's Poetics. The language and cultural context, as we know, Aristotle is belong to the Greek, and this Natyashastra is written in Sanskrit, Indian context. Time period, we find that Natyashastra dated between 5th century BC and 4th century C. In between the time period, not particular time. While the Poetics is believed to be written between 335 to 322 BC. Emotional range, we find that Aristotle focusing on the evocation of pity and fear in tragedy, while Bharata outlines the 8 principle of emotions, sthai bhavas in their manifestation. That we can find the similar context and difference also, that how they portray both the things. Concept of catharsis and rasa. The concept is same, but what they are saying is different. Like in Aristotle, catharsis involves the pulsuration and specific emotion, while the Bharata's rasa encompasses the broader range of aesthetic experiences. Like the rasas is taken from the different rasas. Like we taste this, we can find. So that is also there. The wider concept we find. Theoretical approach, like Aristotle approach is more analytical and perspective based, while Bharata's rasa theory is more comprehensive and inclusive. That is include more things outside of the drama, or it also include the seers, the viewers. Role of audience and spectator, both in both the ways. Like Aristotle discusses the impact of tragedy on the audience through the catharsis, while Bharat explores the role of spectator in experiences rasa through the actor's portrayal. How actors are performing their character, and then we got the rasa nispati. Cultural context, we find that Aristotle Poetics is influenced by the Greek philosophy and literary tradition, while Natyashastra adopts the Indian philosophical and aesthetic principle, and also the Sanskrit literature in the context of we find that. This is also taken from the same article I have mentioned. In the conclusion, we find the comparative analysis of Natyashastra and Aristotle Poetics reveals that the rich diversity in literary tradition alongside the universality of certain aesthetic principles. Some of the similarities we find that it is in the Greek philosophy, is also there in Sanskrit. So that is beyond the boundaries, like different from the Greek mythology, Greek philosophy we find, and Indian concept we also find. Despite the originating from the distinct context, both works share the fundamental concept with exploring the nature and purposes of literature. How literature or drama is very good, or that helps us to do the emotional, that supports the emotional part of our, that is also discussed in the both of the works. While differences in approach highlight the unique cultural perspective, this discussion fosters the deeper understanding of literary theory and encourages global dialogues that celebrate diversity and collective wisdom and pursuit of artistic excellence. As we have seen that many of the presenters also included applied Indian theories and Western this artistic work, and some of them we can also apply the Aristotle Poetics in our Indian context. So we can learn deeply the literature. So that is provide the big way to learning the literature. I have taken the help of Claude AI to organize the content, several in the different slides in conclusion too. These slides I have taken from SlideScoop. Thank you. That's from my side. Now you can ask questions.
So, Yashraj, my question is, do you think Aristotle and Poetics could have shared ideas at that time, or did both writers develop their ideas independently?
Now, as we have discussed, like there are several similarities in both of the works. They talk about the emotional state and rasas and catharsis. So somehow we feel that is there any connection between the two of the writers? So they are giving so much similar philosophies. But in the article also stated, or we know that at that time during the like 300 BC, there was no connection between the Greek mythology or sorry Greek philosophy or Indian these philosophies or like literature. So they are like both of the common, but we can also connect that with the, as we were discussing in the class, like spiritus mundi. That is like the concept of use. Like whatever feel we have feel through the this many years, we have that experience and we are getting that idea. So we may connect with that, and during that time there was no connection. So they might be write this authentically on it. That's the
Yes, my question is how do Natyashastra and Aristotle's poetics contribute to our understanding of the universal principles underlying the creation and appreciation of dramatic art?
yes. Like both of the theories, like in Indian context, we find that Bharat is talking about, or any other like theories is talking about how we feel, how the Rasnispati is happening. So we can also critically analyze that what is the that element that make us feel that emotion. So that is also provide the deeper understanding of like in the Aristotle thing, we find that how catharsis is happening. How do we connect with the hero or the main character from the any particular art? And when something wrong happened to them, we also felt the same way. In the movies nowadays, we also felt the same. So these type of theories gives the like psychoanalytical analysis of our psyche, that how we feel that and how art can help us to feel our emotion, how to take our emotion outside, and that also give the critical analysis to how to produce the literature, what type of elements should be there in the literary arts, in the drama or any other literary piece that can produce more rasas or catharsis or emotion in the readers or in the viewers. So thank you for listening.